Hello, good evening. Welcome to D&D with Shitlords Ixalan campaign. I am the DM for Ixalan, Eeyore or Volrosk, whatever the name is on YouTube.
You will always be Eeyore.
Yep.
Yes.
Or just donkey.
In the last couple of weeks, the heat wave that has struck North America and Europe has unfortunately downed one of our players, and another one is, well, AWOL at the moment, so we're running 4 players tonight. We all hope that Icy gets well from her heat-related issues.
Yes.
But, moving on, tonight's our shortened party is Weimar, played by Shady Grin.
What up?
Morgrim Dino Slayer, Sagwin.
Good evening, all.
Chiron, the gigantic wizard. Punisher.
G'day.
And of course, that sneaky friggin' Irishman, Glenn McNamara, by Inquisitor.
Yes.
Wait. Giant? How tall is Chiron?
6 or 7
Chiron,
feet tall.
yeah, he's very big.
Is that with or without the horns measured?
Without the horns, he's well over 6. He's 6'3", without the horns.
Yeah, so basically he's big enough to pick up Morgrim and set him on the top shelf. If Morgrim didn't weigh 200 or 300 pounds.
Plus all of my equipment.
That. Yes. Well, when we last left the party, they had a second run-in with Mavren Fein. One of our party members got bit, but through the combined efforts of our cleric and fighter/alchemist, it has potentially been staved off, and they have collected Mavren Fein as a prisoner. We will
As
now
a
join.
fellow person in our meat cart.
He's pretty much just a torso right now.
He's a torso with a head.
I do remember one distinctive thing was that
Cephalothorax.
Glenn was telling everyone that we should probably, before they get reinforcements.
Skadoodle.
Yep.
So I guess you're gonna. We joined the party right before actual dusk, because, well, Mavren had pulled a whole bit of shadow magic when he showed up.
Yeah, with the whole making it prematurely dark.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're at the party, out of initiative, and ready for you guys to move wherever.
Into the carts, let's find a camp.
Just gonna head wherever.
Glenn will get into the cart, find a nice place to hide, and curl up and sleep.
Had a rough day.
No, everyone else has.
Are we going to stop to rest, or just Glenn?
Once we find a camp.
Being as
Are we in the middle of the desert?
We're in the middle of a jungle near a temple
Right, yeah.
where we just got attacked. So I'm
desert
thinking
is the
move
other
away
campaign.
from it.
Yeah, the desert's the other campaign.
So I'm saying we move away from where we just got attacked to someplace else.
Yeah, unfortunately for you, well, Isaac isn't here because I'd have him make the navigation check or whatever with his proficiency, but so I rolled it for him, and with proficiency, yes, about an hour or so east is a small hunting camp. very secluded. The Legion of Dusk doesn't know anything about it.
So while we're headed there, Grim kind of looks back from his seat on the wagon. Weimar
Yes.
and Chiron,
Yes.
I have a couple of ideas I want to run past you guys for Weimar's condition. I don't know of any alchemical draft in order to cure vampirism, but I'm always willing to try to make one. That seems marketable. So, what I'm thinking is, you can summon water, right? I say, looking at what, or at Chiron.
No.
You can't summon water? Okay. Well,
Do I
I can.
look like a priest to you?
I can still distill water,
Say,
so it'll still work.
my passive perception here, even though Glenn is trying to sleep, he puts up his hand and goes, cleric spell.
Okay, you can summon water. You can summon water that is completely pure. Fantastic. I'm going to need a cup of your blood, Weimar.
No
And
thanks.
then-
I've already had enough taken.
This is going to be used to potentially cure you, though. Then I'll have these fangs. I'm figuring hair of the dog that bit you along with some of the dust that I have. So powder the fangs, add some dust. We can get the herbs for normal healing draft. And then, just to up the sterility of it, a couple shots of my whiskey.
Are you trying to make vampires human or just make them drunk?
I
A
figure
little
being
tiny bit
drunk
of
is
auto cannibalism.
I figure being drunk is a good step towards human. The way I figure, though, is especially if we can get Glenn to bless the water, then we have a 2 parts holy.
Glenn will hold up his hand and go, 2 spells for that.
Yes.
Didn't you take that one cantrip?
It's not a cantrip. Ceremony is a first level
Ritual.
spell.
Okay.
It's a ritual, though.
Is it?
Yep.
I don't have my Xanathars in front of me, so.
It is a
hold on.
ritual.
Oh, okay.
So it would become 2 parts holy, 2 parts curative, 2 parts sterile, 2 parts hair of the dog.
And how would you be getting this blood?
Less violently than I get it from most things.
Weimar just raised an eyebrow at you.
And on ceremony, I can confirm straight from the book.
Is ritual?
Yep, first
Yeah, but-
level abjuration ritual.
But priests have to have a spell prepared in order to use it as a ritual, so unless you're doing ceremonies for a lot of people, there's no point casting it as a ritual.
I did take ceremony for the
Coming of age.
the coming of age for
The local.
for the local, but I've since not prepared that spell.
It's a shame because holy water would come in handy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my idea for a cure. Do you have anything to add to that, Kyron?
No,
Anything in your...
although I can, instead of just finding the herbs, I can summon actual healing elixir. You can use that as a base.
That works for me.
I'm still not comfortable with the blood thing. I kind of like my blood where it
It's
is.
just a bit of blood. Don't be a baby.
It's going back in.
Yeah, you're going to be imbibing it.
But do I have enough left? That bastard was pretty thirsty, you know.
Standing, you have enough for a little bit more.
Chiron mumbles under his breath about humans and squeamishness around blood.
Alright. I'll do whatever it takes.
The way I figure, that's at least a good start on a healing draft. I'll start my portion of it once we find camp. And then, Glenn, if you would be so kind, when you're up to the task, if you could take care of your portion.
Tomorrow.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Yeah, fight with Mavren drains a lot of you.
Nah, I'm still golden.
Yeah, I've not lost a single point of of health.
I'm only 10 down.
Oh, was I really picking on Weimar last time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Glenn was spared a lot of it because I was trying to be tactical in my deployment. Plus, I only had like 2 spell slots left.
And
to be fair, too, Weimar did take a lot more damage, but I used the rest of my spell slots to heal him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Grim was saved from a fair bit of it by savagery. He rolled in and just started killing.
Well, that's Morgan for you.
Yep.
Okay, so
They don't have time to kill you if they're too busy dying.
Yes, the best defense is a whole bunch of dead enemies.
Yeah, the best defense is ending the fight as quickly as possible with victory.
Victory.
And a healthy supply of vampire dust.
Mm-hmm. By the time you reach the camp, it's become dark, and though there is no rain falling, the sounds of thunder, lightning, and it just seems dead black in the sky. Like, it's almost an ominous feeling, like it's about to drop like a hurricane on you, but it hasn't for some reason.
Glenn's
Hey, guys,
gonna climb under the cart.
I can make an impenetrable shelter for us, guys, if you won't get close enough.
Lehman's tiny hut.
Indeed.
Nice.
I was going to describe the actual hunting camp, which is basically 3 or 4, 4 I guess, 2-person fur tents, A-frame entrance, both only one way. It has another piece of leather at the back, small fire pit, nothing in it, and a tanning rack that looks like it can be put over the fire to help in drawing out hides.
Or vampires.
Glenn will wake up, look around, annoyed, look at Graham, and just go, why don't you take our little nugget friend here? String him up on the racks over there. I'll cast one more and I just poke him on top of the head and spare the dying. Make sure he doesn't grow anything back. And I will be right under here tonight. And then he crawls under the cart.
You don't want to sleep in the A-frames.
He pulls his coat tight over his body and just curls up into a ball.
Mm-hmm.
I'm quickly checking something because I might have an even better idea for where to keep him. Do I have one?
In a barrel?
No, I was hoping I had a chest.
Oh.
Store him in a chest.
Yep, that would have been my solution.
I mean, he is already undead. It's not like he needs to breathe.
Unfortunately, I do not have a chest. I need to rectify that at the next town. So, instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bundle him up so that his head is the only thing poking out. And the rest is just completely tight and flush to him.
So you're
bury
making
him?
that. Sounds like he's making that sack you put him in skin tight and just stringing him up somewhere.
Yep.
You don't need to protect him from bears.
I'm not protecting him, I'm just making him an easy target.
No. That's how you protect your food when you go camping from bears. You string it up and hang it from a tree.
Yeah, but I string that up way up there. This one I'll just string up so that the shoulders are about swinging height, and I can easily just lop off the legs if they should sprout back.
No, alright.
And if some band of raptors comes through and decides to eat him.
Well, that's what Liam and Tiny Hut's for.
If they start trying to come through to kill what I've rightfully butchered, I'll butcher them and add them to the meat cart.
To the meat
Of
pile.
course you will. Meat for the meat pile.
Yep.
Blood for the blood.
And I start
We were all
setting,
thinking it.
I
Skulls
start
for the
setting
skull
up
throne.
the equipment that I'll need for brewing my vampirism curative.
Mm-hmm. Gonna have a nice brew out tonight.
Yep.
Lots
Why
of
Margot's-
smells, lots of sounds.
Let's see. I think I have one barrel that I haven't filled. Let me quickly double check. If so, I'm going to make another barrel.
How much does a chest weigh?
Well, it depends on the cup size.
Nice.
So the best ones weigh about 10 pounds.
Oh, I know what I'm going to brew. I do have one more barrel, but I'm not going to brew a full barrel. Instead, I'm going to work on a combination of Monstrosaur and Armosaurs.
Strength and defense put together.
Yep.
Excellent, excellent.
And the fonts.
So those are going to be my tasks.
Tisk task.
So, the curative and the attack defense stuff. Got it?
Yep.
That'll be one go of the brewer's tools just to set. Actually, 2 goes of it. One for each.
Okay. And that is...
Can I assist him?
Your assistance would be better with the first, but I don't see any reason why not. Translation, go ahead.
So assist means that I get...
Advantage.
Advantage.
Right. Okay. Fantastic. So that is 19 on the first.
That's good for the curative.
And that's... one roll. I doubt I'm going to get higher. But 22 on the second.
Yeah. Getting the Monstrosaur and Armosaur's powdered remains brewing. You've done this all your entire life. You could do it in your sleep, pretty much.
Haha!
Tee-hee.
Oh.
They're coming to take me away, haha.
Hee hee. Ho,
To the funny farm. Oh, this...
Alright, so Glenn's napping, Mavren's up to a tree, Penguin's brewing.
And Weimar's beat to shit and already knocked out in a tent.
Okay. Well. The night passes relatively calmly, but the thunder and the lightning goes on pretty much the entire night until about sunrise.
To Weimar, that's pretty much comforting, having spent his life outdoors.
And with the coming of sunrise, you all get the benefits of a long rest. And to reveal the last little completely.
Yep, you were roboting a little bit there, bud.
Yep, you're roboting.
A beep, a boop, a beepity boop.
Basically,
You roboted
sort
like
of. You know.
No, we
I'm-
don't know because you're roboting.
Am I roboting now?
No.
That sentence wasn't.
On the Vampirus sort of check, whatever you want to call it. Weimar, you do not have to do it for another time. Since that happened to Vampirus.
I'm sorry,
we got most of that.
He's not a vampire, but might still become a vampire is what I got.
Yes. So in the morning, Glenn will climb out from under the cart, kind of stretch his back, look around, and say, oh, I'm still here. He's going to walk over to Weimar, look down at him, kind of grab him by the chin, turn his head so you can see the bite mark. How's the bite mark looking?
It spread. It looks like a set of festering wounds, and the sort of red scabbing marks are actually jet black at this point.
Okay. It is not a ritual spell. So, yeah, Glenn will just kind of take out his coin, give it a couple of twirls in his finger, and then place it over one of the holes, and cast Lesser Restoration.
Yep, very good description of how you cast it. One disease or one condition. He's currently afflicting Weimar, so I know your selection.
Yep.
It'll be the Vampirus. Weimar, the in your neck instantly feels like it's been hit by a cool, warm sunrise, and though the black is still there, Glenn, it doesn't take anyone with any experience to know that that's not spreading anymore. Like, at worst, those are just going to be a pair of scars now.
Okay.
So yes, the Vampirus is cured.
Sweet. Weimar's still sleeping. Smiles in his sleep.
Okay. After you're done that, Glenn, being as you're pretty much the only one up at this point because you're the only one that had to get up this early. Well, I guess Sanguine did as well.
Yeah,
Give me a
Grimwood.
quick anyone that would be logically up at this point, perception checks. with advantage because you're just looking at something really big.
Hang on.
20?
Yeah.
16.
My camera's caught on the wires in the back, but yeah, I nat 20'd. So,
Okay.
with that and my perception, that would be 31.
Some serious perception bonuses.
Dude, my passive perception is 21.
What's this written on the bottom? Its true name? What?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else that was up at the time? You know, lots
Like I said,
Now,
16.
every little detail about everybody in the party.
uh,
You momentarily
okay,
see giants above you,
no.
and all your compatriots seem rather flat, and the land loses definition.
Compared to the normal morning sky, which is more of a yellow gold, this is the entire sky with the morning rays is a maroon blood red. Glenn, being as you got so high, you also noticed that to the east in the direction of the village that you came from, smoke is rising.
Glenn will look at that and just kind of. I'm guessing Ravello is here with us.
Yep. Yeah,
and still sleeping.
Yeah. He's had a rough day too. Yesterday too.
Kick him in the ribs.
I was gonna say, yeah. Glenn will walk up to Ravello and just kind of nudge him in the ribs with his foot.
He stirs a little bit and groans. 5 more minutes, Grandma.
I think your grandmother might be a pile of ash, at least in a little while. Much to Weimar's welcome, but
So, do we get the benefits of a long rest? I forgot. Sorry.
yes.
Yes,
long
yes,
rest.
you did.
Okay, good. I'm back at full.
He jumps to his feet at the notion of that and looks over towards the direction of his village, and his face is mortified. Like, this early, and he says, this early in the morning, the flame shouldn't be that big.
How about you go ahead and scout for us there, Boyle?
He's already halfway on Alexander by that point, and book it off.
Cool.
Like, he's booking it.
Put out
Alex
your
is
grandmother
able
for
to
me.
Follow him.
Bye.
You're not going to tell anyone else that Ravello just booked it.
Nope.
Well, okay.
We'll let the morning commence, as normal. See, that's the thing. I'm probably the most observant person, but that doesn't mean I'm the most morally right. I'm perfectly fine with a fella going off by himself.
Our cleric is more morally flexible than our consummate merchant.
Yep. Dude, I'm chaotic neutral. I'm playing my alignment. I
could tell.
I have no ties to these people whatsoever. If their village burns down, that's cool with them. I was doing Ravello a favor.
Everybody gets one.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay then. I'd ask for a morality check, but that is in line with your alignment.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, proceed with the morning. There are minor grumblings from Mavren, who is now awake and has sort of had the benefits of a long rest. But his
Did any of
limbs,
his limbs?
due to the amount of constriction, that begs stretching, but there ain't no limbs. Well, showing. I'm saying yes, but within the sack. So they're sort of. You've seen what the Chinese do to people's feet. Think of that, but entire limbs.
Mm. Folded limbs.
Yeah.
I don't want to. No,
So-
I don't want to think about it.
I walk over towards him. I look over my shoulder. Hey, Glenn. Can you keep him alive for me? And I grab him
What?
by the throat.
No, no, no.
And I'll pin him down.
And Glenn will just, take a seat on one of the campfire, stools, and just look around. Just, Grim. Not that I object to giving this this little lamprey what he deserves, but shouldn't we be a little concerned about this?
Pointing at the moon
Yeah,
or the red.
the red sky.
The blood red sky.
I mean,
I
don't
agree.
don't get me wrong. I think that you can probably pump some information about this from the little bloodsucker, but at the same time, he might lie. So, yeah, just
I
take
agree,
whatever-
but here's the problem. If this thing soups him back up to the point where he's dangerous, because I didn't whack these off when I had the chance.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. That's perfectly fine. I mean, I kind of like hearing him scream.
At this
Well-
point, Weimar's up, and he
At
sees.
this point, Chiron comes up too. I can help him scream.
No,
we-
thank you, good sirs.
If we get this sorted quickly enough, it doesn't waste any time in the day. So make sure he doesn't die, and I pull out my hand axe.
No, thank you.
Corin, since you're up, can you unwrap him? I have him pinned down now.
Well, hold on. You're saying no, thank you. Plead your case, sir.
You wouldn't torture me?
Chiron,
Yeah,
Chiron
I have
pulls his
taken
fingers out and sparks begin to fly between them.
I have
We
taken
wouldn't.
no vows to say that I wouldn't. There are other more pious gods on Faerun. A lot more that would maybe look down on something like this, or even ones that would prefer that I be tortured in their stead. But I am not a priest of fuck. What was his name? Shit, can't remember that.
Stupid guy.
Alexander.
Are you thinking Palor?
No, not Palor. Fuck, what's his name? The martyr god.
Oh, shit. I know who you're talking about, but I can't think.
Weimar basically just takes his staff.
Ilmater.
Ilmater, yeah. I'm not a priest of Ilmater. I am not a priest of Helm who would look down upon this. I am not a priest of Palor or any of those other more pious and righteous gods. I believe, and he'll pull out his coin, just kind of roll it across his fingers, gives a flick, catches it, puts it down on his hand, and go, I believe in chance.
And even if you were priest of Helm, there are certain excuses that you could use. This could be the defense of the people here.
Just saying.
See, he has chance. My god's a merchant. We understand that sometimes you have to endure certain costs in order to make a profit.
So you're asking that if I were to avoid my pain, I'd have to give something to you.
Who said anything about that? I think the
Well, now hold on.
profit
Let's
is
let's
that
hear
you
him out.
won't-
What
Meanwhile,
what
while
will you
this
give
is
me?
happening, Weimar is. You see him looking around for something on the ground. But he's looking around for a large, heavy stone that he can wield in one hand.
Are you gonna bash his brains in?
Jeez.
No, you aren't. I can make money out of his dust. He's a regenerating source of Drunkard's Mind Shield.
You think my regenerating abilities are complete
No,
or
as long
sustainable?
bit, I can still use it. Once they run out, then you aren't quite as useful anymore.
Weimar just ignored everything you just said. He's got a rather serious and intense look in his eyes right now.
You don't find a rock, but there are several large blocks of wood that you'd assume are used for sort of being a bottom piece of sort of repair areas for traps. And it's large enough for you to carry in one hand, and it weighs about 7 pounds, give or take. So if you wanted to, you could use that as a bludgeon.
So Weimar starts taking his darts and fastening them in a fashion to the one end of the wooden thing with the pointy ends out.
Oh, God. Mavren sort of whimpers and then straightens himself up and looks over at Glenn. Tails.
Oh. Okay, hold on. Should I actually flip a coin?
D2 check, highs or head. Actually, D4. Highs or heads, lows or tails.
He'll pull his hand back, look at it, and go, I'm listening.
This red sky is produced by Vona, Butcher of Magan. It's sort of what he does when he destroys a village.
Okay.
And based on its location, your little local guide is now out of father, a mother, and any siblings he's ever had.
It sucks to be him.
Well then, and I set the axe down to the side. I unwrap him with one hand, pick up the axe again. Left or right?
He just looks at you dumbfounded. I thought we had an arrangement.
Oh, you have an arrangement with me, but I'm not the one hacking off your limbs.
Left
You're
or
not gonna
right?
stop him.
I don't remember hearing you negotiate for that part.
I'm not hearing an answer, so both it is then. And I raise the axe and angle it towards his legs.
Oof. Yeah, he has literally no capability of resisting, so that's an auto hit.
And he didn't say one side or the other in that? Fuck it, I take both his legs.
He screams in pain as the legs, as they come up off of him, wither into dust.
And spare the dying. As he passed out.
As Sanguine is distracted, the club comes down on his head.
That would come down on my hand.
At this point,
Sounds like a
Weimar
ref
doesn't
to me.
Okay, so
You know,
we have
I
ourselves.
would like to roll a perception because
Before
That is
that
coming
occurs,
down on my hand.
I will argue, being as you were more distracted with cutting off his feet, that it will be against passive perception on a stealth check.
Yeah, I was
Alright.
gonna say, Shady, were you trying to do any of this stealthily?
I'm waiting for an opportune moment, and I saw it.
That doesn't
So-
sound stealthily to me.
Yep, so Shady's stealth check versus his passive perception.
That sounds like passive stealth versus passive perception.
You can make
What
the
would
argument.
passive stealth be?
It's the same as passive perception. It's 10 plus your stealth skill.
See, the thing is, this
Yeah,
isn't conscious. Well, he is conscious, but this is more instinctive.
Mhm.
This is his blood commanding him.
Okay, so I'd call that passive versus passive. I thought you were actually trying to be malicious.
This is more.
So what's your
Yeah,
passive?
Passive
What
versus
is-
passive is exactly
What
the
would
same.
passive be?
Passive. It's your stealth mod plus 10.
Okay, so 14.
Damn, you're gonna hit my hand.
I was gonna say, yeah, he's gonna have a higher than you because he's got better dex than you have wisdom.
Concerning, I'll assume 3 darts plus the bludgeon. Actually, oof, that's one heck of a weapon.
I might
going-
just keep it.
It would
How
have hurt
much
a lot
hits my
more if I-
hand?
I'm going to say 3 d4 piercing. It will be a sort of 75-35 split, and a d6 bludgeon. So
I
3
should
d4
note
and a
this-
d6.
This is a really makeshift weapon, so I probably have disadvantage.
Yes. Any improvised weapon is disadvantage.
Yep.
So, do I roll to hit, or...
Yep.
Not. Well, roll to hit him. Mavren has no way of defending himself.
Well, my hand is on his head. So, you don't really get to not hit him, or to hit him while not hitting me.
All right.
So I roll 3d4, is that what you said?
It'll be a roll. The big question is, Sanguine. I mean, Morgrim isn't actively capable of defending himself, so therefore the AC doesn't matter.
Except I'm wearing armor. So AC does matter because I'm wearing heavy armor. So it's not a active defense,
It's a passive,
a passive defense.
which means you will have to take a roll to hit to get through the greaves, or the gloves, or the gauntlets.
Gauntlets.
So what... I wouldn't have proficiency in this, because I just made it. So, no 3, and would it be strength or dex?
Whichever.
This is definitely a strength weapon. Oh wait,
Oh no, because he isn't proficient in it. He's a monk. It's only for weapons that he's proficient in, so it's strength.
mm-hmm. Yep, that's definitely a strength weapon unless you are proficient in it.
So what's 12 plus 5?
17.
17. And since I don't have my shield counting on this, you crush my hand.
Yeah, that is 3d4 piercing and a. And then,
Okay, so 1, 2.
and this will be split evenly just to make it easy.
2 4s and a 1. And I'm assuming I don't add anything.
You can you add your strength mod still.
So 2 4s, a 1, and a 5. So that's 9.
You have a
14.
You have a 20 strength.
No. 14. Why does it say 5?
Because
Oh,
you
2 plus
downed
3.
a potion, that potion's no longer there.
No.
Yup. So
Yeah,
My
you downed a
strength
potion
is
earlier.
14, so that's a plus 2.
Mhm.
And strength, I'm Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at
That's proc bonus.
Yeah, you don't add your
I'm
proficiency.
looking at the saving throws. Sorry.
Gotcha.
So the
So it's
actual
not
roll
a
to
plus
hit
5.
was
Yeah.
so the actual roll to hit was 12 plus 2, which is 14.
9. Well, no, it was 4 plus 4 plus 1 plus 2. So it would be
Wait,
9,
what?
11 damage.
I'm referring
Okay.
to the roll to hit. The roll to hit was calculated incorrectly. The roll to hit was 12 on die, correct?
Yeah.
So then that doesn't
Plus 2,
break through my armor.
14.
That stops at my armor.
Yeah. Well, no, if it meets armor class, it beats it.
No, my armor's higher than that. I'm saying the attack would stop at the armor. It doesn't get to go through my armor.
At which point, Morgan, you feel something strike your hand rather hard, and well, it's Weimar's improvised bludgeon.
And this would really piss off Morgrim.
Yes, it would.
Morgrim has an axe in his hand.
The question is, do you notice the look in his eyes?
Nope, he's pissed.
Okay.
Do I have to drop D4 here?
That's an 18 to hit.
Chiron will grab the vampire. Morgrim is distracted. Just in holding him.
I have a 17 armor class.
18.
Meets his beat, and 18 makes that a non-issue.
Hold on, though.
Also, you retaliate on dropping D4s.
Where is it? Before rogue, before ranger. There it is. Okay, then I can do what I wanted to do. Never mind then.
18 versus 17 AC. 18 wins. Roll your damage.
And
And it will be the lot.
I know, but I'm also striking with the blunt of the axe rather than blade side. I'm striking backside just as a fuck you.
I'll declare that as improper use of a weapon, which means the damage alone will be as an improvised weapon. So base damage is 1d4 plus everything else you add.
1d4 plus my strength and all that. Okay. So...
Plus the perk.
Yep. Which, I need to grab my d4. Where the fuck is my d4? There it is. Okay. That's good that I rolled low on the d4. So just that is 9 damage. Plus 6 burning. So 15.
That it. 15 plus Weimar's now technically on fire, taking is it a D6 a turn?
D8.
Oof. Alright. Any responses to that hit from anyone?
And immediately after the hit, Grim just says dismissively, "Put him out."
Which him?
Only one of them's on fire.
Glenn at this point will, kind of pipe up using thaumaturgy to make his voice boom, make the ground shake, and just sit there and say, The apocalypse does crazy things to people. Now, little Lamprey here. He committed some crimes against Weimar. I don't begrudge him for wanting to bash his brains in. Isn't that right, little friend? And then Glyn will just kind of haphazardly walk up to the vampire and give him a little slap on the cheek.
Okay, so everything from about to say the damage I missed.
You took 15 damage.
Okay.
Then Quiz said the apocalypse makes people crazy and has just teased Mavren again.
Yes. Saying also that given what happened to Weimar, he's not surprised that he wanted to bash his brains in.
Yes.
And then he points at Grim and says, "You'd do the same, wouldn't you?"
I wouldn't strike at an ally while doing it.
Well,
I make my deals honest. I don't strike at the person.
I think you might. Just saying. The circumstances are not quite the same, really. I mean, you could say what you would do, but you don't really know. Not unless you're in that position. The one important thing here is that we are not enemies amongst each other here. He is our enemy. And what's even worse is, what was that beastie that you said was burning towns and causing this red craziness?
Vona.
Vona. That, I think, might be our real problem here. I mean, yeah, that town that we stayed in, they tried to string us up. They tried to back down on our deals. Yes, they backstabbed us, which is even the worst offense. But I think they've paid for that. I think they've paid in blood, shall we say. So I think debt's paid, right? By the way, just an aside. Our little friend did run off to his little village. Might be concerned about that. If this beastie here is still there, we might want to go and check on him, maybe? I mean, he didn't do anything bad by me, but his relatives, on the other hand, they kinda did. So they deserve what they're getting. Maybe. Just saying. They bring it on themselves, right? This little guy...
Actually, point of order, I think that the vampires are bringing it on them right now.
Well, I don't know if it's a vampire. And then he'll walk over to Mavren again and sit there and go, Is he one of you?
And while...
Of course
While Glenn's doing all of that, Grim grabs his water skin and just sprays it at Weimar.
The fire effect ends before any ticks resolve. Continue, Glenn?
Is he one of you?
Of course he is, you blithering idiot.
Oh, okay. At that point, he'll take the sack that he's in. He's still in the sack, right?
Partially, at least.
Partially.
I think.
He'll pull the sack all the way up over his head and close the tie. And then and give his head a little pat again. I think we might have a little bit more problem. Shut up in there, and he was giving him just a slap. I think we. I think we. Hey, I can bury you. No, you might like that. Never mind. So, I think we have some other problems that we might need to deal with. So, I think, and he'll step between Grim and Weimar, bury the hatchet in his friends, but not in each other.
We should go help them. But, and this looking up at Weimar, You ever strike at me again and it's not the flat that you get.
Weimar's focused on the vampire. He's not even paying attention.
I slap you then. You don't not listen to me.
I get the feeling that I'm the one being ignored now.
Yeah, Mavren sort of pipes up and listen to the guy who didn't want to cut my limbs off.
At that point, also, Glenn will say, "All right, fine. If I'm gonna be ignored," he'll walk over, pull out his little billy club, just slapping it in his hand, over to one of the barrels.
If you
Grim,
fucking touch one of my barrels,
have I got your attention now, Grim?
if you break one of those, I will have your fucking head.
You can make all the threats you like, little friend, but at the same time, I think we have bigger concerns. Have we not?
Once I have it so that no one that is supposed to be on our side is going to start attacking me again, I agree. I'm making sure of this.
I wasn't attacking you. You were just in the way.
Same thing if you're willing to attack through me.
You want to keep that abomination alive. I don't. You're in the way.
That abomination has been proving useful, right? And he'll walk up to the sack and just kind of poke it. Don't get me wrong, Weimar. I perfectly understand. I perfectly understand. I get it, right? But at the same time, let him live out his usefulness. Then you can do whatever you like to him, right? I'm just asking you to be a little patient, is all.
I don't see him as being useful in the slightest.
He has...
Well, then you're a damn fool.
He has things up here that we don't know. I mean, we're all groping in the dark here. And not darkness made by him! Oh, poke him again.
I show you darkness!
So...
Stop your whining or the next time you get poked with electricity.
I think, again, we need to quash this beef, this dino meat, whatever we've got here. We need to quash it and make sure that we're killing who we should be killing. His friends. And he'll poke him again. Right?
He sort of snarls.
Right. Grim. Onward tally-ho, right? And Glenn will start walking off in direction of the village.
Grim grabs Mavren from Kyron, tosses him into the meat cart, climbs up into the driving chair of it, and starts going.
The other two following?
Yeah.
Weimar gets in the meat cart and starts attaching a rope.
No,
Mm-hmm.
you go elsewhere. Get the fuck out of my cart.
Jesus Christ.
Weimar's not listening.
I throw him out of my cart.
That'll be a check of some sort.
And before
I'm
I
gonna
do,
say,
I down my new Grim Wrath.
you mean the attack defense stuff?
Mm-hmm.
That's +6 to strength and plus 2 AC for the next 4 hours. Okay, that is going to be a unarmed strike to hit for a grapple. Then the grapple will be contested against strength somehow. I think it yeah, strength check versus as the save, strength versus strength for resistance, and then saying when you win both, you throw him out. If you fail at either one, he resists successfully.
Okay.
I nat 20'd.
Has did I
Not your turn to
technically-
roll.
Because I got a 19, and for me, that's a crit.
Yeah, that's a guaranteed hit.
And
Strength
if
strength.
even with the difference, it would come down to mod in that case if we both nat effectively, right? Or is it a roll off?
No, he still rolled higher than you.
Well, no, you need.
What I said
Yeah.
was roll to hit. You 19, you roll it. 3 checks now, highest wins.
Yeah.
Okay. And-
Nats do not care in this matter because it's player versus player.
The skill check.
Yeah.
That is a 29.
Oof.
29
Because it
against
is.
what?
Plus, I do get my proficiency mod in this, right?
No.
Oh, so that is.
Is it
No.
strength? If it's just, are they strength checks?
I do have proficiency in
Yep.
strength.
Well, then,
Straight up
then
strength.
he gets proficiency in strength if he has proficiency in strength.
Well,
Yeah.
it's technically like if if he's making a grapple attack, right?
Oh, no. The proficiencies are just for saving throws.
Yeah, the attack. Well, okay, he needed to roll to
I'm
hit,
going to.
which is fine, but at that point it's a contested strength roll. Is essentially what it is. If he has proficiency in strength,
That
he has
is exactly
proficiency.
what we are resolving.
I have proficiency in strength.
And the thing about it is with grapple is that you can the defender can use athletics or acrobatics, whichever one they want. So if they have a higher acrobatics or
In
athletics,
this case,
Because I rolled a 18 and I have +8 strength mod, and then +3 proficiency.
yep. So that is a 29 saving throw on athletics or acrobatics, which will be your call, Shady.
well, with a natural 20, it's
No, that was
whichever one's higher.
when we were doing.
The natural 20
Or does
was
that
to
count towards
contest.
this?
Yeah,
Okay,
the natural 20 is the contest. Yeah,
just making sure.
And
So
I
what's
have a
his-
+7
which-
acrobatics.
so 27.
Which makes it 27.
29 wins.
Yeah.
Question is,
Well,
do I
you
use my
are-
grip on the bag?
Um. I'm going to say just because it was that close, no. You maintain your grip on the bag. He didn't throw you. Well, you resisted his throw well enough for it not to be effective enough for you to lose your grip on the bag. If that makes any sense. I'm just saying because you hit within so much of your save. That's all I'm saying.
Wymar, if you do what you're thinking, you're gone. Fuck it.
I only wanted to tie the sack to the back of the cart and have him drag along behind. He wouldn't die from that, would he?
No, but rip up the sack.
It would
At
set
this
him
point,
free.
and
Yep. Are you roboting you?
and
Yeah, you're
Yes,
roboting
yes,
a
he
little
is.
bit.
waiting until it stops.
That seems to have.
Yep, at least for the time being.
Okay, as I was saying, at that point, and sorry to Icy for doing this, but Alex steps up and yells at you both, "Stop fighting!"
No, I could see her doing that.
Like, that is completely within her character.
Yep,
yeah.
it is.
It's just I like to respect the actual player characters and not co-op them unless it's absolutely necessary.
Yeah, role play for them. Yeah, I get it.
This is getting really tedious. We need to go. He doesn't want you in the cart. Chiron snaps his fingers and a floating disc pops up into existence. Here's your ride. I'll be in the cart. Wake me up when we get there.
That's one way to solve the issue.
Weimar reluctantly throws the bag in the cart, aiming to have the head land on the cart first.
Yeah, he lands in a bit of a slump and just sort of angrily protests from the back of the cart.
Shut up or I'll have your head myself. Said just loud enough for Mavren.
Weimar sits seething on the floating disc.
I'm guessing eventually you all are going to catch up to Glenn.
Well, we're in carts. You aren't.
I know.
So yes.
when you do catch up, Glenn will hop onto the cart, sit up on the bench with Grim, lean in and say, I understand. You're angry. But don't let that tarnish a good friendship. And besides, I would never hit the barrel. Not really. It tastes too good.
Damn right it does.
They give him a clap on the back and sit there and say, forgive, and get the hell out of town. Onward and upward, mate.
So we're finally on the road after a tense morning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you do run into a few predatory dinos along the way, but they seem more focused on running away from where you're headed than even attacking you. Like, you see even Monstrosaurs just booking it past you away. And
Continue on, they would run from me if they were smart.
Well, you arrive and to the village, and the walls, the buildings, everything, it just looks like it's been leveled. Small piles of ash here and there, and in the center, a large pile of burning human remains. And you do find Ravello, and he's just kneeled in front of it, wailing.
At this point, Weimar activates his radiant soul.
Uh-oh, now you're roboting, dude.
I thought that was me.
Am I good now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I was saying Weimar activated Radiant Soul, flew up as high as he could, and it's checking to see if any enemies are in the area or survivors.
I'm going to say that that's a perception check. Distance would give disadvantage, but your height counteracts that, so it's just a straight roll. Just a straight perception.
So, 14.
You don't notice any actual people, enemy, hostile or friendly, but you do notice what looks like the path the head shaman took to get into town was traveled on as early as this morning. By who, you can't tell from this distance.
point to that entrance or whatever and shout down to someone to inspect the tracks.
Glenn will dismount, walk up to Ravello, just kind of behind him, and look at the remains. Do I recognize any of the remains?
Mostly the townspeople that bartered and were doing various commercial things the days that you were here. The only notable figures are Ravello's father and the elder, based on what's left of their charred remains. So the head person of the village, the chieftain, and the head's guardsmen are there. What happened to everyone else? And by the pile, it looks like there was at least 80% of the village is in this pile, dead and burned.
Glenn's gonna look back at the rest of the party and go, decimated.
Looks like more than that.
And we got here way too late.
Mavren starts laughing from within the sack. This is a sadistic, evil laughter.
Weimar just shoots Grim a nasty-ass look right now.
I grab the sack, lift it up, and slam it back down on the bed of the cart.
The laughing stops and is replaced with a sort of quiet whimpering.
Glenn will walk back up to the cart and tell Grim, climb in and sit next to Grim and sit there and say, "We're at a crossroads, my friend.
He knows where their town is.
We've
How do you feel like raiding?
We've got a little bit of a problem, right? Our little nugget friend back there knows more about what's going on here than he would probably tell us offhand.
Oh, definitely.
He needs, especially taking this sort, because I believe in the chance of life. If these people were not able to defend themselves, then it's unfortunate, but their death has its merit, right? They leave themselves open to those that can survive. So I don't feel like their deaths is going to weigh heavily on my conscience. I am certain that other people do not think this way, and that is perfectly valid. So, I know for a fact that you want to keep this lad alive to exploit him. Honourable and important endeavour. Although now with good conscience and his sadistic nature now showing itself, I cannot in good conscience allow Weimar to not have his vengeance. So, again, we are at this crossroads, right?
First, we need information.
I will do this one thing. I suggest we split up. You and Chiron and Alexandra go and investigate the trail that Weimar just told us about. Ravello, Weimar, and myself will stay behind and help console the boy and I want you to leave our little friend with me. I'm asking a lot. I understand that. But will you do this thing for me?
We need to do one thing first. We need to figure out where they are.
And that is exactly what I intend to do.
I have an idea that I doubt that you thought of in order to do that. I pull out Vergidane's Luck.
Vergidane's Luck, which one is that?
That's the one that you blessed.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Gave a luck point and a bunch of other rather interesting perks.
Yeah, the most important part is it's blessed liquor.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
You can just save that. It's a difficult to renew resource.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I'll use one of them.
I'll hold up a hand and sit there and say, I've got plenty blessings to go around, friend. I think that we should probably save it for ourselves, right? I will, however, need 1 hour before we can do this.
Chiron holds up his sparking hand and says, I can do it faster.
No. I appreciate the sentiment, but I want to be absolutely certain of what comes out of this lying cheat's throat is the absolute truth. Which is why I need an hour.
At this point, Weimar just turns away from the group to Ravello, tells him to get a shovel. Let's bury the dead.
Ravello, his face, just stone cold shock, simply nods, picks up the best thing comparable to a shovel that's left, and just starts digging a hole.
And I search for
Sky
something
Spirit
similar and do the same.
Mm-hmm.
I can actually shortcut that hour. I hold up another potion. Detect thoughts.
Oh, is there a detect
I have a detect thoughts potion.
Oh.
He can still lie via thought, though, can't he?
I don't really know.
Let me look up the spell. I remember looking into that once before.
A potion of detect thoughts, which is basically, if I remember correctly,
Is effectively a potion of mind reading.
Detect thoughts, second level divination. Okay, for the duration, you can read the thoughts of certain creatures when you cast a spell as your action, blah, blah, blah. You initially learn surface thoughts of the creature, what is most on its mind in that moment. As an action, you can either shift your attention to another creature's thoughts or attempt to probe deeper in the same creature's mind. If you probe deeper, the target must make a wisdom saving throw. Fails, you gain insight into its reasoning, if any, its emotional state, and something that looms larger in its mind, such as something it worries over, loves, or hates. If it succeeds, the spell ends. Either way, the target knows that you're probing its mind. Unless you shift your attention to another creature's thoughts, the creature can use its action on its turn to make an intelligence check contested by your intelligence checks. If it succeeds, it ends.
Yeah, I think the hour is probably the better bet.
yeah, I spell something like augury or something.
Zone of truth.
What I was going to do
Hour.
is I was going to get him so pissed he can't stand even if he had legs. Give someone the detect thoughts, and then start asking the drunk questions. How hard is it to lie when your mind is not yours?
I think the Zone of Truth is probably the better bet. Which I don't have it prepared, which is the reason why I need an hour, because yeah, you can switch out your prepared spell list as a cleric, but you need an hour's meditation.
If I remember right, it's slightly faster. I'm just gonna give it a quick check. I do believe you. Just checking if it's quicker. Okay. Stochastic. Okay, specifically at the end of a long rest, but I'll say instead times the actual time by 10, and it will be 1 minute per spell level of each spell. So your spell level is
that spell is a second level spell.
It'll take you 20 minutes.
Okay.
I'm going to say, based on the PHB and just sort of ignoring that long rest by doing that 10 times penalty.
Okay. Yep, that's what I'm gonna do. While Weimar and
Ravello
are
pay respect to the dead.
He'll look over at Graham again and sit there and say, "Investigate that for me. Do your best." And again, this circumstance will eventually be rectified, friend.
Grim just grunts and gets to starts to stand up. I meant what I said. If he attacks me again, it's not the flat he's getting. And then stumps off.
Glenn will kind of nod. Walk into the back, grab the nugget. Now, Glenn isn't very strong. His strength is only 13. So when he's handling him, he's handling him clumsily and intentionally clumsily, and smacking him into doors and taking him and dragging him and plopping him on the ground as intentionally.
Yeah, he's not enjoying. Can you not be so reckless with your handling? Thought you were supposed to be the.
Oh, I'm not nice. I'm not nice, friend. And he's going to start his meditation, and how he starts his meditation is he takes the sack, places it in front of the mass pyre of bodies, pulls the lid down so that Mavren can see, and then sits cross-legged on his chest.
Mavren spends the 20 minutes basically brooding, angrily just staring between you and the pyre.
I was gonna say, if he starts to mouth off too, I've been prepared for that. I was prepared for that.
Okay. To investigate.
You're roboting a little bit, bud.
Beep boop, beep 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 boop.
Have you caught up?
Robo Donkey Adventures.
Hello?
He just dropped.
Oh. I'm not even looking at the Hangouts. So, a little tense this session.
Yeah.
There we go. Easy back.
Yeah, I'm
There
back.
you go.
As I was saying, Sanguine, you were going to investigate the tracks.
Yep.
That's a survival check.
Good thing I'm halfway decent in survival. That is a 17.
What you can tell from the tracks is they are all, in fact, humanoid, and based on their patterns, you believe that any survivors were taken prisoner and basically paraded out of town, death march style.
Can I get any clue as to how long?
You guess that most of the fighting happened during the night, and this march began right at sunrise.
Sunrise
Okay.
of vampires? What?
Yeah, the vampires of the Dusk Legion can actually survive during the day. They just do not like it one bit.
Alright.
So, we're talking couple hours past, tops.
Yep.
Okay.
But by which point they could be anywhere on the eastern end of the island. Practically.
Yeah, but a large group of people leave large tracks.
Mm-hmm.
So, with a cart, we'll be able to ride them down.
As long as you can keep the track.
And I stop to look up at the sun, see how far along it's come. About how long would I guess I've been out?
You mean just to check the tracks, or just since sunrise?
To check the tracks.
Not about 20 minutes. Ironically. Well, not ironically, by design.
I'll take a bit of time going back, still looking at the tracks, seeing if I can guesstimate how many people.
You're guessing about not 100, but definitely close to it. So somewhere around the 80 to 90 range in terms of prisoners, and the more organized footprints are organized well enough that their true numbers are somewhat disguised. But you're guessing that there's enough for one guard for at least per 4 people maximum. So you're guessing at least 20 guardsmen.
We can take them.
While you're looking out,
No comment
secondary.
for that.
Well, you're grim. We can pretty much take the island.
As you're looking out at the tracks, that's a secondary perception check.
Okay.
Well,
That time it is, let me quickly double check, I think it's a 23. And it is in fact a 23.
You notice that along the tree lines, you could swear that nothing is that big, but you think a very large dino is coming directly towards the village. Like something massive. But it's 20-30 minutes out at the pace that you think it's going.
That'll be fun. I continue back to let them know, hey, hey, we're gonna have something big to kill. Also, to let them know that they left several hours ago, and I was able to find at least the beginning of a track.
Okay, due to the fact that it would take 20 minutes for him to get out and do all that, we'll do the Glenn stuff and then come all together.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so after Glenn's able to reset his spells, 20 minutes of, I guess, Ravello and Weimar burying the dead and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Which will probably take the bulk of the day,
Mhm.
considering that there's a couple hundred in this
100
huge pile.
He'll sit there and stand on top of on top of him. He'll get up on his feet at first, but then kind of look around and say, "Well, they're not going to get there. I'm not going to get their attention, am I? Hold on," and he'll get up on top of him, just stand on his chest, and kind of wave his hand at Weimar and Ravello. And just kind of motion them.
About how long? How
off
many
me.
much of the dead have we buried at this point?
20-30 minutes. I'm gonna say full grave. Were you doing shallow graves or full graves?
We want to pay respect. Shallow graves doesn't cut it, but not fully, like 6 feet under. Not that much.
Right. So sort of a medium deepness.
Yeah.
Like, you're in a hurry, but you're not going to have them wash out after the next major storm.
Yeah.
I'm going to say you made it through about 13 or 14 partially completed remains. If you're doing a mass, like, are you doing a mass grave or one at a time?
One at a time. This is more for Ravello and
Respects.
because he was raised somewhat religiously.
Yeah, he is. You've been through about 5 or 6 if you're going through the whole rigmarole in about 20 minutes. Bury a hole, get a set of remains in the hole, cover it up. Ravello sang a few kotras to send him on to the afterlife and moving on to the next.
Yeah.
So it's going to take you pretty much the rest of the day to do it all.
All right. So I tell Ravello to keep at it, and then I go over to Glenn.
He simply nods and continues work. His face, though, has improved somewhat. Still, the eyes have that look of, what am I going to do now?
As soon as Weimar approaches Glenn, Glenn will kind of show out his hands at Mavren and show him and sit there and hold up his finger. Let's go. I negotiated for your feelings to be satiated, your sense of justice. However, I wanted you present here for what happens next.
Okay. What happens next?
Glenn will take his coin, place it down on Mavren's chest, and use it as the holy symbol to cast Zone of Truth. Now, what Zone of Truth is he has the chance to make a Charisma saving throw against my spell save DC. If he succeeds or fails, I know. If he fails, he cannot tell a lie.
So, ain't no line for him for the next while.
Yes. My spell save DC, by the way, is 16.
He's obviously going to make an attempt immediately, and that is the fail.
Okay. He'll look down at him and say, all right, you will tell me everything I want to know about who committed this act. Who they are. Sorry, he'll just say, who are they?
Does his own
Roboting.
compel him to speak?
It does not compel him to speak. He can avoid answering the question by not saying anything.
But if he does speak, he has to answer.
But he has to answer with the truth.
Waiting for what's the first question?
Who committed this act?
He sort of shudders a bit before muttering out just a single word, Vona.
Why?
He's good that time.
Ah, loose lips, eh? I'll not tell you again. Why?
Like I said, he made a success the second time, and I was
Oh,
about
no.
to come up with
It's
an answer.
one. It is one success. It is one roll. If he failed it for the duration, he cannot lie. Yes. And the duration is 10 minutes.
He was either affected by the spell or he wasn't.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, he cannot lie for 10 minutes.
I don't know the exact reason, but I'd assume either A, for fun, or B, at the Queen's order.
He'll lean in and say, where are they going?
Supply depot, and then to Dusk Legion territory.
How many in their group?
Depends on how many Vonets took with them. The maximum would be 2,000.
Ooh, 2,000, huh? Who is your greatest military enemy?
With the Sun Empire in ruins, it would be the River Garrets.
Where can we find them?
The Southern Bay.
Is your queen, at any time during the day, easily isolated so that she can be easily removed?
He looks at you mortified, and his lips tighten up.
If you've got tight lips, I can loosen them. He'll pull out a dagger and twirl it in his hand.
No.
Here, use mine. Chiron tosses him a glowing white dagger. It'll hurt more.
No. She's never alone.
Oh, must be terrible when she's bathing. Or maybe she likes it. She an exhibitionist? Remember, you can't lie.
No. You pig.
Right. Okay. He'll look over at Weimar. At Weimar and just hold up a hand. We're almost done here. And then he'll look over at Chiron and say, any input here? Anything you want to ask the bloke?
How far away is the supply depot?
4-hour journey.
Which direction?
That pathway. Secret. Offshoot path.
Is there any traps or anything that we need to be concerned about?
Security is tight.
So, soldiers.
He finally manages to from talking.
There you go. All right. Well, do you have anything else, Chiron?
I don't think there's much else we need to say or ask.
Good. Good. Okay.
I have a question.
Sure.
How would you like to die, and how wouldn't you like to die?
He outright refuses to answer the question.
Torture it is.
Glenn will
No.
hold up a hand and sit there and say, I've got plans for that. He'll look down at Mavren and say, unless you want to offer your own input.
I'm guessing I'm not going to get a painless death, so the least pain that I think would be acceptable for you is burning at the stake.
It's a good that's a good assumption. Yeah, it's a fairly safe bet. And then Glenn will stand up, look around for some of the broken buildings in their wood. Walk over and start building a little bit of a pile of kindling and some wood pile all around him. And then after he's done that, he will light a torch and hand it to Weimar.
You're far nicer than I would have been. I would have had him drink blessed shit.
I was still going with the divine lightning idea.
We've got company. I'm not going to company. Glenn wouldn't know that metagame, so on and so forth, but Glenn is
Jake's trying to eat something in the background.
he's trying to grab his toy is what he's trying to do.
Okay.
He's Glenn is trying to be frugal with his spells. He's already spent 2
No, I was talking about mine, and he still holds up his hand, which is still sparking.
Oh.
Okay, Weimar wouldn't know the nature of alcohol, so he wouldn't know that it's flammable. Damn it, I had an idea.
If your idea was to burn Grimm's supply, you want to be murdered by Grimm.
No, my idea was to have him force feed him alcohol and then shove the torch down his throat.
He's a vampire. He'll burn just fine without alcohol.
I want his insides to burn. But anyway,
the insides will burn just as much as the outsides.
with a
Chiron
pretty
holds up
hollow
his hand and says, his insides still can burn.
with an intense, hollow look in Weimar's eyes, he basically lights the pyre on fire with the potato there.
Yeah, the fire quickly and Mavren spent 5 or 6 seconds, bursts into flames and just becomes a pile of vampire dust in the middle of the pyre.
Might want to gather that for Grimm.
And with that, it's now evident to everyone, because our company is now standing at the gate. It is a gigantic theropod-type dinosaur with many green, white, and red feathers. Each of you, for some reason, feels a familial bond to this creature.
I wonder how
Familial?
good its toes would go.
Is this an avatar or one of the three?
Yep.
Did you say that in or out of character?
In character. Like, I don't think I've ever felt related to a dinosaur before.
Okay, it looks at you. It looks at you and says, "Yeah,
You are robotting something fierce, dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's about time that I have to head out, so once this introduction's done.
Yeah.
Okay, it taps into all your minds and speaks to you telepathically. I am an emissary of all three solar deities. And with that, it is a very reasonable spot to call it for tonight. Well, thank you everyone who has come to watch us live, and thank you to everyone in the future that will watch us on the YouTube channel. We all bid you a good night, and see you whatever our hectic schedule allows.
Yeah. It's the summertime, so it's going to be a little crazy. But yeah. All right, everyone. Take care.
Have a good one, all.
See ya.
See ya.
Later.